And this cold weather can also take a toll on your vehicles. But there are some ways you can increase your chance of staying safe on the roads this winter. WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinzith is live at Tire Town in Conway with tips on winter car care. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, now that it's freezing cold, there are some things we need to think about when we start up our car this morning. Talk a little bit about, for example, if my car's sitting outside of my driveway,
right.
How long should I let it warm up before I take off?
At least 10 or 15 minutes before
wow,
you get ready.
long.
So kind of get an early start. When temperatures change all of a sudden like this, a lot of things changes. Normal things that are okay on normal temperatures change drastically when we get a blast of cold weather like this. So
all right, so 10 to 15 minutes. If it's
10 to 15
outside.
minutes, yeah. Kind of get started early. Obviously, you want the big thing that you want to check are tire pressures. When you have a drastic change in temperature, there's a big difference in tire pressures. Most of the later model cars have a tire pressure monitoring system, so the cars are pretty smart nowadays. They'll kind of let you know when something happens, So.
Can you just do an eyeball test, like, hey,
sure,
I'm going to look down at my tire and
see
how it's
What you want to do is do also, tires, cars are smart, but there's a visual test. You want to kind of walk around. Obviously, if you see one that's kind of pushed out at the bottom, obviously it's going to be low on tire pressure. So
then you need to stop and fill it up?
Yeah, any of the tire towns, any of the tire guys here would be happy to come out there and
Will you do it for me while I'm sitting in my warm car? Actually, my car's not even warm. So.
We get that all the time. Pull up behind one of the bay doors and one of the tire guys will come out and check the pressures, no problem.
All right, so look at your tires, check them, cross your fingers that you don't have to get out in the cold and fill them back up with air. 10 to 15 minutes warming up. And if you're parked in the garage,
if you're parked in the garage, it's probably not a good idea. You're gonna want to open up the garage door. You don't want to run the car.
Do you still need to warm it up in the garage?
Yeah, because temperatures, most garages aren't temperature controlled, so you're still gonna want to back it out of the garage and let it run.
Okay, Crystal, I didn't do that this morning. Back to you.
That's okay, Amanda. You're braving the cold for us, and we very much appreciate it. And stay with us this morning as we continue following this extreme weather nationally and here at home. When you're taking the kids to school or if you're heading out on the road for your workday, safety experts advise you to make sure your vehicle is equipped for this cold weather. WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinzith is live at Tire Town in Conway talking about winter car care. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, there are things you can do to prepare your car for the winter, but if you haven't done any of that, well, it's a little too late now, so now you just got to roll with it.
That's right.
You were saying you definitely want to start your car 10 to 15 minutes, let it run and warm up before you take off this morning.
Yeah, and then once you get some preventive maintenance, you want to make sure you check the battery.
Yeah, if it doesn't start, well, good chances are that the cold killed your battery.
Little late for checking the battery at that point, but obviously you want to check the battery cables, make sure they're in good shape, not corroded, and so forth. Next thing would be, obviously, some preventive maintenance would be checking the hoses, belts, make sure they're not frayed and coming apart. Hoses are kind of hard to look, otherwise they may feel okay, but what they actually do, they actually deteriorate from the inside out. So best bet, take it to a professional, have them check it. We can do that at Tire Town. We're a full maintenance shop, so we can check all that. We don't just do tires, we do a full array of everything.
I take my car, as a matter of fact. Now, if your battery is dead, can you just jump start it probably, and that will get you on the road to work?
That'll probably get you up and running, but you need to probably get it to a service center and have them check and make sure, because batteries don't go dead for just no reason. Either a light got left on, or it could be the battery's at that point to where it needs to be replaced. And we have equipment that we can check it, the actual internal of the battery, to make sure that it's going to be okay. Okay.
Or the batteries just don't like the cold. They're like me. When my car acts up in the winter, I'm like, it just doesn't like the cold, and I get it.
Well, at least we're inside now, so it's not so bad.
Yeah. Crystal?
Poor Amanda. That's like me in the heat. We just hate it, but she will be out there all morning for us. We have important information to get out to you folks. And this cold weather can also take a real toll on your vehicles, but there are some ways you can increase your chance of staying safe on the roads this winter. WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinzith is live at Tire Town in Conway with tips on winter car care. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, there are a lot of preventative things you can do to your car to hopefully help you out I hope we don't get another cold snap like this, but it's likely that we will, so you want to be ready.
Yeah, hopefully it's just going to be a couple days, but obviously there's a lot of things you need to keep an eye on. Check all the fluids. One of the most important things when it gets cold is the antifreeze level.
Antifreeze, yeah.
Make sure you check it. Obviously,
This is pretty cool. This is a little tester right here.
Yes, it's a hydrometer. Just make sure that you check the level first. Second would be this actually checks the temperature that it keeps from freezing, and this is looks like it's right around 30 below. So I think this truck's in pretty good shape as far as the antifreeze level goes.
And if it's low, I mean, you can stop and pick up antifreeze even at a gas station.
You can pick it up. Yeah. Obviously, this is something that it's a preventive maintenance, so you want to make sure that it gets flushed probably every other year at least.
Now, antifreeze comes in 2 different colors, right? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, and they have what they call a chameleon, which is one that mixes with any color or whatever. Also,
so that's a good one
and
to
that's
look
a
for.
lot of times you can pick that up at your local auto parts stores or whatever. And you can use that, and that mixes with any of the newer antifreezes. So you don't have to be specifically, correct on the color that you get, because they have ones that will mix with any of them.
Okay. And if you get in your car this morning and it doesn't start, well, chances are your battery could be dead because
more than likely that's where the problem. That's where it's going to start, is with the battery. When we get a blast of cold weather, on normal conditions, your battery's okay. When all of a sudden when it gets cold like this, that's when it's going to create problems.
Doesn't want to work. And if it does start, you're good, but let it warm up. Even if you parked in a garage, pull it out and warm it up.
I would back it out of the garage, let it warm up probably at least 10 or 15 minutes before you hit the roads.
Okay, so you got to get out there a little bit early. Go out there first and then make your breakfast.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, well, good luck. I hope everybody stays warm, and keep an eye on your car. Check your tires, too, because tire pressure can go down. Crystal?
This is correct.
Definitely. Amanda Kinseth reporting for us. You know what? Darren just told me I incorrectly pronounced the space heater. It's infrared, not infrared. Sorry about that. And stay with us all morning as we continue following this extreme weather nationally and here at home. We also want to see any pictures you've taken out in the cold weather. Post them to our Facebook page. We're on Facebook at News Channel 15. You can find us on Twitter as well. It's at Carolina Live. And if social media is not your thing, just email us a picture, yournews@WPDE.com. When you are taking your kids to school, or if you're heading out today for errands or for your workday, safety experts advise you to make sure that your vehicle is ready and equipped for this cold weather. WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinseth is live at Tire Town in Conway. She's been giving us tips that are really helpful on winter car care, right, Amanda?
That's right, and we've been talking a lot about preventative care and stuff that you can do this morning. Yep. Let's kind of just recap everything, especially the stuff if you run into problems this morning. Well, here's what you have to do.
Yeah, starting with the tires.
Starting with the tires.
Starting with the tires. That's going to be affected mainly by the change in weather. Tire pressure is important. Visual look, if they need to be topped off, bring it by one of our Tire Town shops. We'll be happy to check them for you. Secondly, battery. Back to the jump gear.
Probably dead, yeah.
Turn the key, nothing happens. It's probably the battery. That's going to take a pretty good jolt and a change of temperature.
Sure.
So what you want to do,
Yeah.
be very careful. Red is the positive. You want to make sure. Red on positive, black on negative, and same with the vehicle you're hooking up to. Be very careful.
And you can also get, there's battery chargers out there too. So if you know your car's prone to that, maybe you can hook it up overnight or something like that.
Exactly. All
right, what else?
Secondly, belts and hoses. You can't visually see exterior wear on them because they basically, especially hoses, wear on the inside out. So take it to a professional. They'd be happy to check it for you. Make sure all your fluids back to the antifreeze. Make sure that it's full and it's to the proper cooling temperature.
Right, and one of the main things you can do is you gotta heat up your car before you leave. It's 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
Leave it running before you actually take off. Whether it's outside or in the garage, pull it out.
Exactly, make sure it's pulled out.
Which is good for you anyway, because then it's a little warmer when you get in there. Crystal?
Definitely. Thank you, Tire Town and Amanda. Those are great tips all morning long.